All right, we're going to start our lesson on scattered plots and association. The main thing that I want you to remember about scattered plots is exactly its name. It's going to be points that are scattered. That means that they're not connected, okay? And one major thing about scattered plots is that they're basically looking to see if there's trends. In other words, if there's patterns. And a fancy word for that is if there's a correlation. Okay. So this one's a super easy concept, but it's one of those concepts that you're not going to understand unless we actually do some practice problems. Okay, so look at what it says. These are examples right here of a scattered plot, and they can help us make predictions. Okay, so for example, Sarah surveyed shoppers at a mall to see how many items they'd purchase and the total amount of money they'd spend at the mall. She used the data to create the scatter plot shown. How many shoppers did Sarah survey? Well, how many dots do you see here? So this person only bought one item, so that's one person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. She surveyed 16 people. Each dot represents what each person bought. Does the number of items purchased seem to have an effect on the amount of money a shopper spent? So they're asking, does the number of items have anything to do with the total spent? So think about when you go to the mall or you go shopping, right? The more items you buy, what happens? Well, the more you spend, right? The least items you buy, well, the less you spend. So there is a correlation. The more you buy, the more you spend. So you see how those dots look like if they're going up? That's because it's a positive correlation. When this gets higher, so does the y-axis. Okay, so put right here. Yes. The more you buy, the more you spend. So let's talk about the different types of correlations that there are. I'm going to fold my paper so you can see it on camera. Okay. So there's something called a positive correlation. That's like the one we just did right now, that the more you buy, the more you spend. So you'll see these dots kind of going up, okay? So here, as one variable increases, so like as the x gets higher, so does the y, okay? So x, here's the y. This x got higher, so did its y value. This x got higher, so does its x y value. So as one variable increases, the other variable also increases. So it's got a positive direction. There's a negative. So when one variable increases, what happens? As I go more to the right, these dots are coming down more. So one is getting higher, but then the y is getting lower. So one increases while the other decreases. And the variables change in a negative, in a downward direction. So this one goes upward. This one goes downward. That's why it's negative. And then you got this one where, man, they're just scattered everywhere. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, it's like splattered. So this has no effect. Like there's no correlation, there's no association, there's no relationship, no nothing, okay? And I'll give you an example of each. So for example, what would this look like in Walmart, right? The number of shoes a person owns and the number of states they've visited. So Does that have a correlation? If somebody has 5 pairs of shoes, does that mean that they have visited a lot of states? If somebody has only 1 pair of shoes, does that mean that they've only visited 1 state? No, it doesn't make sense, right? Your shoes have nothing to do with the number of states you've visited. So this right here, since they have nothing to do with each other, is no correlation. One thing has nothing to do with the other. You can have a lot of shoes and not have traveled a lot. And you can have very little shoes and have traveled a lot. The size in ounces of a steak and the cost of the steak. So for those of you that have gone to, like, say, Roadhouse or just a steak place, right? If you get a 6-ounce steak, it costs so much. But let's say somebody starts asking for an 8-ounce steak, a 10-ounce steak. Well, that's just a bigger steak. So what do you think? If the steak is bigger, is it going to cost you more? Yeah, so as the size of the steak increases, the cost is increasing also. So what kind of correlation is it when they're both increasing? Remember the notes over here? When they're both increasing and increasing, we call that a positive correlation, a positive association. And then here, the number of days since watering a plant and the moisture level in the soil. So the greater the days, or the more days that go by that you don't water a plant, what's happening to its moisture? Is the sand in that plant still wet, or is it drying up? So the number of days that you don't water it is increasing. So 1 day goes by without you watering, 2 days go by. So what's happening to the moisture? It's decreasing because it's drying up. So when you have one variable increasing and the other one decreasing, then it's going to go like this. So we say that this is a negative correlation or association. Okay, so now you have this one. Let's talk about the strength of association. I notice here that both graphs have dots that are going up. You see that, how they're going upward? So I know that they're both positive correlations. But one is stronger than the other. And the one with the dots that have the dots closer together, that one is stronger than that one. Okay, so the data points where the dots are close together, the association is strong. And the data points when they're wide, you know, it's weak. It's still positive, but you know, it's weak. They're not tight. They're not strong. Okay. Notice this one. Upward. And I could pretty much envision a line going through it, right? So we call that linear. And this guy, even though they're strong, oh man, look, first it went up, then this is not linear. Okay. So then this would be non-linear. When you can't picture a line going through it. Use these scattered plots to answer questions 4 through 7, okay? So we're going to use A, B, C, D to answer 4 through 7. Which scatter plot shows linear associations? And it could be one or more plots. Can I draw a straight line through these? No, because it kind of curves, right? But I can picture this being a straight line. So this is one graph. These, yeah, pretty much going down, but these curve. So A and D curve, B and C I can see as linear. 5, which scatter plot shows nonlinear? Well, if B and C were linear, then A and D are the nonlinear, because they curved. Which scatter plot shows the weakest? Remember, weak means that the points are way separated than the others. So these are pretty tight. A little loose, and kind of tight. So between these two, which one has them looser, like more spread out? C, right? So I'm going to put C. And it's only one because it didn't say plots. Which scatter plot shows the strongest? Where are they the closest? Where are the points the closest? Like super tight together on A. You see that? All right. And then it says, go ahead and match the graph with the kind of correlation it's got with a scenario. Okay, it's got a scenario over here too. So let's start with this one, where all the points, I don't see them going up or I don't see them going down. They're just kind of everywhere. Remember that we called that no association. They don't have a relationship. So this one right here goes with that one. Now let's look for a scenario that has nothing to do with each other. The temperature outside and the total gallons of gas sold at the gas station. So because it's cold outside, the gas station sold a lot of gas. Because it's hot outside, the gas station sold a lot of gas. I don't know, right? I don't think so. I think it might be that one. They have nothing to do with each other, but let's just read the others. The altitude of a hiker and the total oxygen level in the air. The higher you go up a mountain and the oxygen level in the air. Yeah, those are related, okay? The size of a home and the cost of the monthly utilities of the home. So the bigger the home, the more electricity you're going to pay, the more, you know, for your the light bill, your electric bill, your aircon, right? Everything. So this does have a correlation. So it was these right here that did it. Okay, now this one I can see it's got positive. So as the X goes up, the Y goes up, positive. And it's linear, right? So I'm going to go positive, linear. I can picture a line like that. And then which scenario out of the two left right here is going to be both increasing? So if the altitude increases, the oxygen also increases? No, right? You kind of feel like you're out of air when the higher up the mountain you are, the less oxygen you feel like you're getting. So as this increases, the oxygen goes down. Okay, so this one has a negative correlation. Now, the bigger your home, higher the prices. So this one has positive. They're both going to go up. If your size goes up, so does your monthly cost. So that's what I'm looking for. And then, of course, your negative. It's also negative linear. And, of course, it's going to go with this one. All right, guys, so make sure you pause this. You watch it again. These notes are an easy 100, and now you get to work on your independent assignment that is also for a grade. So make sure you finish that. If you don't, it's homework, and make sure you bring it back.